Hello classmates, in this video, we will be exploring two pricing strategies that business owners often use when determining the cost of their products or services. Today, we will be talking about subjective pricing and objective pricing. Before we dive into our topic, let us recall the two elements of pricing. First, the price of a product is determined by the demand in the market. For example, if the demand is high, then it is expected that the price of that certain product will also increase. Second is the cost structure, which of course composes of our fixed costs, variable costs, and overhead costs. So without further ado, let's dive into subjective pricing. So what is subjective pricing? Subjective pricing refers to a pricing strategy where the price of a product or service is determined by the perceived value to the consumer rather than just by objective criteria such as cost or market demand. This approach relies heavily on individual consumers' perceptions, emotional responses, and the overall brand experience. So I'm gonna give you an example. A luxury designer handbag may be priced at 500,000, let's say 500k. Not because it costs more to make, but because of the emotional appeal, status symbol, and brand prestige that it carries. The bag's high price reflects its exclusivity and the buyer's desire to own something rare and luxurious. So dito na po papasok yung tinatawag natin na brand value. Okay, so now let's proceed to the methods of subjective pricing. So the first method is the reasonable price method, which refers to the estimation of the price that the customer believes is fair to pay for the product. So I'm gonna give you a situation here. For example, yung apron seller number 1 is binibenta niya yung apron niya for 110, and yung apron seller number 2 is binibenta niya yung apron niya for 90 pesos. So ako, as the third seller, I'm just gonna think kung ano ba yung pwede kong i-price sa aking apron without going above 110 and going below 90 pesos, which can compete with the other sellers. So I'm gonna go with the middle, which is the 100 pesos. So by that, it allows a more flexible pricing that the customers are willing to choose from and pay. The second one is the highest price method. So this sets the highest price that a customer would intend to pay for a product. So for example, let's determine my total cost sa apron, which is 50 pesos. So I'm just gonna add the total cost to the maximum markup percentage, which is of course yung pinakamataas na pwede nating na profit margin is 100%. Hindi naman 50% kasi hindi yun yung maximum. Ang maximum po natin always is 100%. So I'm just gonna add the total cost, which is 50, to the maximum markup percentage, which is 100%, and that will give me a price of 100 pesos. So 100 pesos is the highest price that I can give to my apron. So now let's move on to the loss leader pricing method. So the loss leader is a pricing strategy where a product is sold at a price lower than its cost or market value to attract customers. So itong method na to is mainly po ginagamit siya sa clearing of stocks, which is yung mga mabagal po na benta ng stocks is need na po i-sacrifice like para mabenta agad. So dito na po papasok yung method natin na loss leader pricing method. To get the loss leader price, we need to determine muna yung total amount ng loss natin na pwede natin sa total cost natin. So to do that, we will determine the desired loss value and add it by marketing cost. Then after adding the desired loss value and marketing cost, let's get the cost price, which is for example yung apron ko na naman na ang total cost niya is 50 pesos. So since na-determine na natin yung cost price, which is 50 pesos, I'm just gonna give an example sa desired loss value, which is 10, then yung marketing cost na 5. So by adding 10 plus 5, it will give me 15 na loss. So I'm gonna minus 50 to the 15, which will give me 35 in total. So yung 35 na yun is yung magiging loss leader price natin. Then lastly, the intuitive pricing method. So this involves setting prices based on a seller's instinct, experience, or understanding of the market rather than relying on strict calculations or market research. For example, yung apron ko na 100 pesos, ginawa kong 99 because it may appear cheaper to the buyer compared pricing it to 100. So kahit piso lang po yung nabawas, based on the perception of the buyer and emotions, mas mura yung 99 compared sa 100. So overall, subjective pricing is a valuable strategy in many markets, especially where consumer emotions and perceptions play a significant role in purchasing decisions. So that's subjective pricing, everyone. Thank you.
Moving on to objective pricing. Objective pricing refers to a pricing approach based on factual, measurable, and unbiased factors rather than subjective opinions or emotions. It involves using data and analysis to determine a fair and reasonable price for a product or service. Objective pricing considers variables such as cost of production, market demand, competitor pricing, value to the customer, and economic factors. Objective pricing ensures that prices are justifiable and aligned with market realities, reducing the risk of overpricing or underpricing. It basically means that setting the price of something based on clear, measurable facts, not personal opinions or guesses. It focuses on numbers and logic to make sure the price is fair and reasonable for both the seller and the buyer. For example, you have a t-shirt business. The cost of making a t-shirt is $10. Fabric and other materials are $5. Labor is $3. Packaging is $2, which in total $10. Other stores sell similar t-shirts for $15 to $18. Customers might see your t-shirts as trendy and worth $16. You might set your price at $16 because it covers your cost, which is $10. It matches what customers expect to pay and is competitive.
The markup pricing method is a simple and common way to determine the selling price of a product or service. It involves adding a predetermined percentage known as the markup to the cost of the product or service. The markup pricing method formula is selling price equals cost plus total cost times markup percentage, while for markup percentage formula is sales product minus unit cost divided by unit cost times 100. For example, the sales price of a product is 15. The unit cost is 10 pesos. First, we will substitute it to the markup percentage formula, where 15 pesos minus 10 pesos divided by 10 pesos times 100 is equals to 50%. Then we will substitute it to the first formula, which is selling price equals to cost plus total cost times markup percentage. 15 pesos plus 10 times 50% is equals to 15 plus 5 is equal to 20 pesos. The 20 pesos now is the new price of a product from 15 pesos to 20 pesos. And that's all for markup pricing method.
Good afternoon everyone, I am Flynn and I'm going to discuss the contribution margin method, a pricing strategy that focuses on the contribution margin, which is the difference between the sales revenue and variable cost. This method helps businesses understand how much each unit sold contributes to covering fixed costs and generating profit. It is to make a selling price that breaks even and generates profit. This method is used in existing companies that want to add value in their profit. So here is an example. Last month, ABC Apparel has spent $150,000 worth of raw materials for producing 1,000 customized t-shirts. It has also spent $250,000 for fixed costs. The ABC Apparel wants to earn a profit of 50,000 for this month. So, ang sinasabi ng problem natin is, gaya nga ng sabi ko, ang method na ito is used in existing companies that want to add value in their profit. So, gusto ng ABC Apparel magkaroon sila ng profit na 50,000 for this month using yung mga last months nilang mga costs and yung mga units. So, that summarizes to the given na 150,000 for variable cost, 250,000 for fixed cost, and 50,000 for target profit. And we also have here 1,000 for units. So, sino pang nakakaalala sa pag-solve ng contribution margin? I'll give you a formula. And ang formula na ito ang gagamitan natin for the paghahanap ng selling price. So, we have here contribution margin per unit is equals to selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Pero this one is i-derive natin para magkaroon tayo ng selling price per unit na i-equals natin sa contribution margin per unit plus variable cost per unit. Kasi na-transfer nga natin ang ating variable cost papunta sa may contribution margin, leaving the selling price. So, paano nga natin masasolve ito? Siyempre, isosolve muna natin ang ating contribution margin unit at ang ating variable cost per unit. Here is we have our solution number 1. Contribution margin unit is equals to total cost plus target profit divided by units. So, we will add lahat ng mga cost natin, which is the 150,000 plus 250,000. So, we'll having 400,000 plus natin yung target profit na 50,000 at i-divide natin for 1,000 and makakakuha po tayo ng 450. So, pupunta naman po tayo sa variable cost per unit and ito is for variable cost, 150,000. I-divide natin sa unit na 1,000 at magkakaroon tayo ng 150 per unit. And ito na nga yung variable cost natin. So, let's go na sa final selling price kasi meron na nga tayong contribution margin per unit at meron na din tayong variable cost per unit. So, sabi nga natin sa formula, ipag-a-add lang natin ang contribution margin per unit at variable cost per unit. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 450 plus 150 equals siya sa 600. So, eto na po, magkakaroon na tayo ng answer na for ABC Apparel to achieve the 50,000 target profit, they need to sell 1,000 units for 600 pesos. Overall, the contribution margin unit covers the fixed cost at ang the variable cost per unit is added for generating profit. So, I hope you understand po na ang ating nakuha na contribution margin unit is yung nasabi natin nung una na siya yung nagbibigay ng kung how much ba yung nakukover ng mga nabenta sa fixed cost. At ang ating nakuha naman sa unit cost na variable cost is 150, yun din po yung profit. So parang pinag-plus nga natin siya, nagkaroon na tayo ng bago na selling price para magkaroon tayo ng profit at makukover lahat ng cost. That is how we price using contribution margin method. And now, let us give way to Miss Jedrah for her report. Thank you.
Moving on with the competitive pricing method. It is a strategy used by businesses to set the prices of their products or services based on the prices charged by their competitors. This method is particularly common in markets where similar products or services are offered, and businesses need to remain competitive to attract customers. That's why they do competitive pricing. This competitive pricing method focuses more on the market rather than the company's cost. It is generally used once a price for a product or service has reached a level of equilibrium. When we say level of equilibrium, it is when the total demand and the total supply is equal to each other. Here are some of the competitive pricing method. Let's start with price matching. Kung sa sinasabi nating price matching, is ito yung pinamatch natin yung price ng product or services natin sa competitors natin based sa price ng competitors natin. This practice allows customers to take advantage of lower prices while shopping at their preferred stores, enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty. Bakit nasabi na tinitake advantage ito ng mga customers? This usually happens on a sa mga retail stores. Examples of the mostly ginagamit ito ng mga retailers when they agree too much and lower their prices offered by a competitor for the same product. So kunwari, pag mas mataas yung price nyo na 3 for 100, tas biglang sinabi nung customer, ay, bakit sa kabila 6 for 100 lang? And then, sige po, 6 for 100 na lang po. And then, mas nagki-create ka and then you create a customer satisfaction and then mas babalik-balikan ka pa. So, kung meron tayong price matching, meron din naman tayong underpricing. So, dito sa underpricing, this happens when ikaw is mas binababa mo yung price ng product mo or services mo kaysa sa competitors mo para mas maka-attract ka ng customers. Sometimes, ginagamit din ito para i-entice ang customers na very, very price sensitive. Another example na kung saan ginagamit ang underpricing is sa mga nagsisimula pa lang na business. Ginagamit nila ito para i-lure ang kanilang customers or para makapagsimula for a good start. Para binibigyan nila yung customers nila ng low prices so that maraming pupunta sa kanila and then parang mas kakalimutan na ng mga customers yung mga dati nilang pinagbibilhan. Example of this is yung Don Macchiatos po. Parang yun lang po yung parang yun yung napansin ko. Here in La Trinidad, we can see na parang in every sulok we can see that every time that you look into a place, they always have coffee shops, pero the prices of the coffees are parang they are cheap, pero mas parang 100 and above yung sa iba, and then sa iba naman is 50s and above. Pero Don Macchiatos offer coffees that are affordable only for 39 pesos. And then, only for 39 pesos. Pero, meron din downfall ang underpricing. Constantly low prices can lead customers na isipin na ang baba ng quality or less valuable ang isang product or service na in-avail nila. So, kapag may moving on to premium pricing, pag may underpricing, may premium pricing. So, pag sinabi nating premium pricing, you're setting the prices of your products or services higher kesa sa mga competitors mo to create a sense of quality sa iyong mga products or services. Nagki-create ka rin ng parang dinidifferentiate mo yung product mo sa mga customers mo, ay sa mga competitors. Itong strategy na to not only requires improving the product or service itself, but minimake sure mo na ang binibili ng mga customers mo is sa price na mataas is justifiable because sa premium quality, sa mga raw materials pa lang, sa mga ingredients is high quality na to. So, makikita natin itong premium pricing sa mga luxury fashion brands. Example ng mga ito is Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton. Parang mas mataas yung price na binibigay nila kaysa sa mga mass-producing na brands tulad ng Shein at saka mga Shein is because yung craftsmanship, kung paano ito ginawa, it takes a process. Kasi sa mga mass production talagang as long as marami kang napoproduce, basta marami kang nabebenta, yun lang. Pero ang iniisip dito ng luxury fashion brands is gumawa ng mga bags and mga items na mas matagal or mas magtatagal sa mga bibili. Another example ng premium kung saan natin makikita ang premium pricing is sa mga cellphones and sa Apple, especially Apple and Samsung. Nag-aanuhan yan sa pricing kasi yung Samsung umaabot ata sa 100,000 pesos yung isang phone because of the quality ng camera. Pwede mong i-zoom yung camera into parang makikita mo, pwede mo siyang i-zoom kahit sa malayo, and then the video is still clear. Another is sa mga wine. Bakit mahal? Mostly wines. Yung mga wines is mahal. Yung mga matatapang mahal, pero yung sweeter is no. Because it takes a long process for the wines na para sa, sabi nga nila, a good wine is mas matagal sa proseso. Yung hindi naman is ilang araw lang siya na process. And to sum it up, balik tayo, ang competitive pricing method is, ito yung prices ng isang product or service is nabibase siya sa prices given by your competitors. Under the competitive pricing methods is yung price matching. Sa price matching is minamatch mo yung price ng product mo or service mo sa price ng competitor mo. If we have price matching, then we have underpricing. Sa underpricing naman is siniset mo yung price ng product or services mo lower than your competitors to attract customers. And then, last but not the least is the premium pricing. Sa premium pricing, siniset mo ng mas mataas yung price ng product or services mo to create a value or to create a name for to create or to differentiate your product from your customers is mas mataas yung price kesa sa competitors. That's all for competitive pricing.